My brother made over $10,000 mobile detailing part-time after his first few months in business. And in this video, I'm going to give you the blueprint on everything that got him to his first $10,000, all the equipment, how he got his first customers, how he priced the service early on and how that evolved as he got better, how we built him a book of recurring customers that came back month over month. And if you stick around to the end, I'm even going to share with you a sneaky little add-on service that helped him to make some extra money in between his detail jobs. But before we jump into it though, if you're looking to start a mobile detailing business, you're going to need a way to keep track of customers, send estimates, invoices, and collect payments. And that's something that you can do for free using Quote IQ, which you can download on the App Store and the Google Play Store. But you can also try any tier of Quote IQ right now for $1 at myquoteiq.com, which I'll leave linked in the comment section and the description. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So first and foremost, I have to reference licensing and insurance. That's probably one of the first steps that everybody encounters when they're looking to start a new endeavor. Now, licensing and insurance is incredibly important if you are going to be a business that lasts for a long time. And you can essentially go two ways on this. This is not legal advice whatsoever. I advise all of you guys to get licensed and get insured before you start your business. However, for some people, like my brother, he wanted to focus on creating legitimacy around his business first and foremost and worry about the licensing and insurance second. So he went out and he washed a lot of cars for friends and family first and foremost to go ahead and solidify the fact that he was going to be able to run this business, that he was going to be able to acquire customers, that he was going to be able to charge what he needed to charge and make what he needed to make in order to create himself a viable business. And after which he then got his LLC and he then got his insurance. Now, if you guys need a free insurance quote, I'll be leaving it in the comment section and the description of this video. Insurance is also important for things like taxes. If you guys want to eventually go full-time into this business and have it be your full-time income, you're going to have income if you ever want to borrow money on anything. Also, you really have to worry about liability with cleaning other people's things. I've seen detailers get blamed for stealing things out of cars, stealing money. I've seen detailers get blamed for scratches on cars or things that maybe the customer didn't realize was there before you started the cleaning process. This is one of the beautiful things about Quote IQ. Within Quote IQ, we actually have an inspection form. We have one specifically built out for mobile detailing where you guys can take pictures of any pre-existing damage on the vehicle before the work begins. So that way, in the instance after the job is done, the customer tries to hold you liable for these things, they cannot. So if you guys do want to check that out, that is a bonus feature within Quote IQ, and it will save you in the instance that a customer tries to blame you for pre-existing damage they already had to their vehicle. In this instance, this is something you guys can use to protect yourself. But with regards to licensing and insurance, I highly recommend everybody get licensed and insured. Free insurance quote down below. The second thing I want to get into is naming the business. Once we've kind of got our licensing and insurance, you're actually going to need a name in order to license and insure your business. Probably should have put this one number one. Still, I just want to let you guys know that the name of your business doesn't really matter. Customers do not care what the name of your service is. And if you guys want proof of this, like call a plumber, right? Do you really care what the plumber's name is, or do you care that he's going to provide a quality service for you? So when picking your name, you really want to give the name utility rather than something cool, something catchy, something that you feel like you're going to be able to brand that's going to stick out in the customer's head, because in reality, they just want the service provider to stick out, and the name just kind of comes with that service provider. So with regards to giving your name utility, for example, if you were ever to create a Google My Business listing for your business, which I think you guys should absolutely do if this is something that you're taking serious, giving your name utility would be like putting the service within the name. So we would make sure that we have auto detail in the name, and then we could also use like maybe an acronym for our location. So for example, I live in Louisiana. If I were to give my name utility, I would call it LA Auto Detail, something to that effect. So that way, when it pops up on Google, it's very relevant. They know exactly what it is. It's auto detailing, and they know exactly where I'm located, which is Louisiana. You guys will see oftentimes people have these fancy names like Repair and Shine Cleaning Services. But in the end, it doesn't really give the customer any idea of what the business is. Repair and Shine, what does that even mean? I don't know. I just kind of made that up off the top of my head. But if you guys kind of look into names, people like to go with their own name. So for example, I could say Justin's Mobile Detailing. That'd probably be pretty good. But if we were giving the name utility with regards to something that would be searchable in the future, like I said, I would go with the location acronym. I would also go with whatever the service is, auto detailing. Don't get creative with it. Don't go with anything fancy with regards to your name, because your customers ultimately are not going to care. All right, so the next thing we're going to get into is equipment. All the equipment that we started with, we got from Home Depot and Amazon. I like Home Depot because it's really easy to return things. You can get insurance on things. So if it breaks within a certain period of time, you can always bring it back and replace it with something on the shelf. You can't really do that with Amazon, at least as far as I'm concerned. I hate shipping things. I hate bringing them back to the UPS store and boxing them up and doing the whole thing. So we did specific things on Amazon that we could not find at Home Depot. But I think for like your pressure washer and vacuum and things of that nature, I would probably go the Home Depot route. You can start this business for under $1,000, which is the beautiful part about it. I've even seen people post videos on YouTube about how you can start for less than $1,000, like $500. However, I wanted to make sure with his setup, we went with something that would be reliable for at least a year. And I think with everything that we got him, he'll at least get a year out of it. I didn't want to go too cheap. I didn't want things breaking on him on site because that's just not a good way to go. Now, I have two different equipment walkthroughs on the channel. I'll leave those linked down below if you guys want a real in-depth walkthrough on the equipment. The first one is me going through my brother's setup, which he actually used a Camry. So if you guys are currently in a situation where you're driving a car and you don't necessarily have a truck, you're in good shape because you can actually run the business out of your car. You don't necessarily have to have a truck in order to run this business, which is another beautiful part about it. So the first one is a kind of walk through with him on how he packed everything into his vehicle. And the second one is a professional detailer. They've been in business for over 4 years, and they do excellent, excellent work. And they actually have a van dedicated to the business, and they kind of go through all of their equipment as well and some of the higher end stuff that they have. So they have some higher end chemicals and things of that nature. So I'll leave those linked down below if you guys want to check them out. But I'm going to go through an equipment list with you guys on everything that we got for him and kind of why we got it. So first and foremost, we got him a small pressure washer. We got him an electric pressure washer. Typically, at least for pressure washing sake, I don't recommend getting electric pressure washers because they don't really put out a lot of power. But when you think within the context of washing cars, it's actually better that they don't put out a ton of power because you don't want to wash anybody's paint off of their car. So electric pressure washers are a good way to go for that reason, but also because since he had a car that he was running his mobile detail business out of, he didn't have to deal with the smell of gas in the car, which is another big downside to using a gas pressure washer is you obviously don't want to be smelling gas in your vehicle. So we got him this electric pressure washer. It actually worked out perfect for both of those reasons. For anybody wondering, yes, you can use the customer's electricity and you can use the customer's water. I know that's kind of a big question. It's kind of a big thing that people kind of worry about early on in their business, and it's really not a big deal. Pretty much understood that that's going to be the case. The next thing is we needed a good vacuum. So we probably put a majority of the money into pressure washer and vacuum because we wanted to make sure that the vacuum had enough suction power in order to be cleaning everything that he needed cleaned. So got a decent sized vacuum. We got a foam cannon for the pressure washer to disperse the soap onto it. Obviously, you're going to need some soap for this as well. I would highly recommend getting something that is created specifically for washing cars, formulated for that. You're going to need extension cords if your pressure washer is electric, but you're also just going to need extension cords for the vacuum and anything else that you try to run that needs electricity. Get some good microfiber towels. If you guys check out the video that I did with my brother kind of going through the setup in his car, he also had some baskets in his trunk in order to organize everything, as well as he could keep all the dirty towels in the baskets. You're going to need to get a good amount of microfiber towels because after a job, you're going to use so many. And then you're going to, if you have 2 jobs in a day, you're going to use so many again. So you want to make sure that you got a good number of those. I recommend getting a hair remover, like a lily brush, very cheap off of Amazon. You can probably get it for like, I don't know, $20 or something. And it doubles as a great upsell for your customer. So if you ever come in contact with a customer who has pets in the car or has had pets in the car and they have a bunch of cat hair or dog hair or whatever the case may be, you can really offer as an upsell. But even if you don't and you include it in the price of the car, you really want to get that hair up, and the vacuum is not going to suffice in order to get all that up. The next thing is buckets. I mean, you can buy really cheap buckets from Home Depot, Lowe's. I would get a couple different buckets, and I'm going to tell you guys why a little bit later on. We got him a hand mitt, so that way he could easily spread the soap out and get the car wiped down properly. And like I said, I have 2 tours on the channel that go completely through everything with regards to equipment. So if you guys want to check that out, if you want a little bit more in depth, I would check that out below. But the biggest piece is, like I said, the pressure washer, the vacuum, the foam cannon, the soap, the extension cords, microfiber towels, buckets. I mean, with these things, I don't want you guys to get too complex too early. And that was one of the things I was focused on with my brother. Like, you could really get into the weeds with all the equipment that you need in order to get started, but you really don't need that much in order to get started. Like, if you guys think about going to the car wash, what do? Like, they spray soap on your car, they wipe it down, they rinse it off, and then you vacuum it yourself. Like, there's not a ton of things that kind of go into that. So first and foremost, when you guys are getting equipment, I want you to focus on, let's get what we need and let's get started before we go too deep on like, here's all the different things that you can get. And we're going to kind of talk to that with regards to the chemicals as well. So I wouldn't get too bogged down with the chemicals too early on either. There's a lot of good chemical videos out there on YouTube, but you don't want to make the mistake of going too over the top into things that don't matter as much, right? Because you could have like the top chemical lineup, but if you've never washed a car, like how good is the chemical lineup either way, right? So the chemical lineup is maybe something that you want to build over time as you're adding on new things, as you're trying out new things. But the biggest chemicals that I would advise you guys get, obviously, is the soap for the car, tire shine for the tires, and maybe like a leather conditioner, because I think a leather conditioner could be like a really good upsell in the instance that you clean a vehicle that has leather. So those are the big three that I would recommend just to get you started, just to get you going. Worry about all the chemicals, all the soaps, all the different stuff later, because at the end of the day, like, what does it matter what wax you're going to get if you don't even know how to wax a vehicle, right? So this is just the things you want to focus on in order to get that first $10,000. The next thing that we want to go into is customers. Your first few jobs should be free for family and friends. You guys have probably already seen the footage already where Matt's washing down the black car, and I'm actually with him in that video. We'd gotten all the equipment together. We headed over to my mom's house and we washed our car first and foremost for free, because we needed to learn. We needed to test the equipment. I wanted my brother to kind of develop some workflows, because that's one of the biggest things whenever you get on site, whenever you get to a customer's house, you want to have things set in a way that is most efficient for your business. And in that first cleaning, you're going to have extension cords all over the place. You're going to have buckets all over the place. You're going to have, your pressure washer and soap. And like, it's just going to be a big mess because you don't have a system for going about cleaning these vehicles. And that's why I say do the first one for free, because that also doesn't look very professional to the customer, right? If they look out their window to check you out and see what you're doing, and you got stuff all over the place, and you got rags in the yard, and you got, wires crossed up here and there, and it's just not a good way to go. It's not a good look. So first couple washes are for free, right? Develop your workflows, test your equipment, see what steps you need to do first. Are you going to clean the inside of the car first? Are you going to wash the car first? Like, which one's going to work better for getting you, the optimal result at the end? And also time yourself. You want to time yourself for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, so that way you know where you're starting and you know where you can improve on. And then secondly, so that way you can kind of judge how you should be pricing this service afterwards. We're going to talk a little bit about pricing next. But when you look at, if you want to price based on a time, right, you know that this particular size car takes you this much time to clean. How much do you want to make per hour? And then you can kind of say, okay, great. I want to make, $45 an hour. I know it's going to take me 2 hours. I'm going to charge $90, just to give you guys an example. But timing yourself is going to give you that baseline, and then we're going to be able to improve on the time after that. After this, you're going to need to do a launch, right? So you've gotten all of your equipment, you've gotten all your chemicals, you've done 3, 4, 5 different cleanings for friends and family, you've developed those workflows, you've tested everything out, you know that the equipment works good, you know you're able to give a good quality product. And after this, you're going to go ahead and do your launch. Now, the other thing that you want to do in those first couple cleanings is you want to get those good before and after pictures, because you're going to need those in order to promote your business later on. So that's one of the beautiful things. Like, I would even make a post on Facebook and say, hey, who's got the dirtiest car? I want to come clean it, right? Because then you get the good before and afters on the wheel wells. You get the good before and afters on the inside where it's like super dirty and then it's super clean. And these things are going to help us to promote the business once we're ready to start making some money. So for the big launch, this is something that we kind of started with my brother's business. I did a Facebook post for him. I did a big Facebook post. I said, hey, my brother is starting a business. I'm super excited for him. He's already done his first couple jobs. And then I said within the body text of the post, he's doing a special price for his first few customers. Go ahead and comment down below if you're interested, and I'll have him reach out to you. So you want to do this for a couple of reasons, right? Whenever you do a big launch, it's going to get out in front of a bunch of people, because people are going to be like, oh, I know him. I want to help him out. So they'll share the post out to their family and friends. They'll share it out to other people that could use a wash. And then the people that really need it and are interested in getting the service done will comment on it. All of these things are going to help the organic reach of this post. So if you guys have ever noticed, like when you go on Facebook, you'll notice that all you really see is people graduating. You see a lot of weddings. You see a lot of babies being born. And the reason for this is the more engagement that a post gets, the more likely Facebook is going to push that out to more people, because it sees it as a popular post that a lot of people will like, and it knows that it's a safe post to continue promoting. So when we create this big post about someone starting a new business, a lot of people are going to be in there and be like, congratulations, I knew he could do it. He always showed an entrepreneurial spirit. And the more people that comment on it, the more people people that share it, the more people that it gets in front of organically. And that's why you want to try to encourage that as much as possible by saying, hey, he's giving a special price to his first couple customers. If you guys are interested, just leave a comment and I'll have him reach out. Every time someone comments on the post, it shares it out to their friends and family, which just gives you more boost and more juice on the post to get out in front of more people and ultimately give you that first launch that you're going to need. So I'd highly recommend, if you guys are looking to start this business, to do a big launch on Facebook. Get real public with it. Show good before and after pictures on the launch, and then try to get as many people within your friends and family to get you your first couple jobs. So after you've exhausted your reach, you've done the huge launch, you've done your jobs, you need to start going about getting in front of more people that don't know, love, and trust you, right? The biggest thing is we want to exhaust that first, because the people that know, love, and trust us are going to be those people that are willing to give us a shot fresh out of the gate. The beautiful thing is once we've done 3, 4, 5 jobs for free, and then we're able to do maybe 10, 15 jobs off of the big launch post, we're already 20 jobs in at this point. We have good before and after pics. We've developed the workflows. We know how to clean the vehicles. We know the results that we're going to get. We know how much time it's going to take us to do these jobs. We're going to be able to quote better. So like I said, we're getting into pricing next, but now we're ready to get in front of the people that don't know us, that have never met us, and that are only interested in us because of the services that we're offering. So after you've exhausted that reach, then you need to start getting in front of more people. I told my brother about a strategy for group posting. I had a buddy of mine that actually shared this with me. He had a painting business, and he would do like tens and tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just posting in Facebook groups and next door groups, soliciting his service. Now, he had particular ways that he went about doing this to kind of give him a competitive advantage, so he didn't just get banned from these groups. But basically, the strategy worked. So you make a post with the body text with an offer. So it could be like 15% off, this week only, or it could be like 2 slots available this week only for mobile detailing. And then you have great before and after pics on the post. And then you want to post twice a day to as many groups as possible on Facebook. Now, the 2 times that you pick really should be in the morning and in the evening, because if you think about how people use Facebook, I would say that a majority of the people probably hop on in the morning. They probably also hop on at lunch, so maybe that would be a good time as well. And then they hop on in the evening after everything's kind of settled down. So I say at least 2 a day, morning and evening. But if you're super ambitious, you can go for 3 a day if you want to. If you want to try to hit all those hotspots, morning, lunch, and then afternoon, be my guest. That's pretty much the strategy. Good offer, good before and after pics, and posting consistently day over day around those time frames where people are most active within those groups. So he actually landed every single job of the $10,000 without having to spend any kind of money, without having to really pass out any kind of flyers. The other beautiful thing is once you start getting customers, like with your friends and family, you can ask those customers for referrals. Hey, do you know anybody else that could benefit from this service? But essentially, with this free group posting, he was able to make over $10,000, and he didn't have to spend any of his own money in order to market his business. Now, if you want to take this group posting a little bit further, you want to take it a step up, you can actually use a video ad strategy. So you can share video ads out into these groups. Video ads actually do better than picture ads, because not only do they get the visual of you cleaning, they get to hear your voice, but also you can make them an offer within the video ad. And if you guys want to see an exact example of a video ad that I did that did over $13,000 in pressure washing jobs in a month, I'll leave that link down below in the comment section and the description. You can copy the video ad if you want. I kind of highlight all the specifics to why video ads work so well in that particular video. So check it out, link below in the comment section description, absolutely free. Other methods for acquiring customers, you really just have to think, well, how do I get in front of more people? You can do that through flyers, you can do that through yard signs, you can run Facebook ads, paid Facebook ads, you can do next door posts like I'd mentioned before, you can go door to door to solicit your business, you can ask your current customers if they know anybody else that would be interested in the service. And then once you get a little bit more solidified in your business, these things you really need to start a Google My Business page, so that way you're able to be found on Google. You can start running Google ads, and you also really need a website in order to create a web presence for yourself. People can also find the website when they're searching for your particular service, and it also just solidifies the fact that you are a credible business. I mean, a lot of people do this as a side hustle. They don't have websites. Only the real credible businesses actually have websites. So it just gives you a little bit another level of credibility. And if you guys are looking for a website builder because you want to build a website, I'll leave mine linked down below. You can actually save $600 your first year using them. They do a bunch of stuff for you. They handle a bunch of stuff, because let me tell you guys, websites are something that I don't want to mess with. They're very complicated, and there's a bunch of pieces that go into them. So check that out down below. A ton of different ways that you guys can go about acquiring customers. In the beginning, though, at least for my brother, he lacked money. If you guys have money to run ads, you're in a better position because you can pay to get in front of more people. If you don't have a lot of money, you need to use sweat equity to get in front of these people. A good thing about social media is it's easy to hop on and share a post and get in front of people. But if you want to put a little bit more sweat equity into it, you can get yard signs. You can go put out yard signs. You can go pass out flyers. You can go shake hands, kiss babies, knock on doors. You can do whatever you have to do in order to get in front of people and get your service in front of people. So just a little tidbit with regards to getting customers. Make up for what you lack in money early on with sweat. And then once you start making money, you can reinvest that money into paid advertising in order to scale the business. Now let's go ahead and get into pricing. In the beginning, you want to price cheap. Okay, so for example, for my brother, I think we did like an $85 wash and vacuum. And for anybody out there that's been in the business for a while, you're like, dude, that's like incredibly low. That's way too low. You have to keep in mind that you don't have the skill yet to ask for bigger money from your customers. We talked about learning the equipment, learning the chemicals, building that workflow up, right? You also need to build up your confidence with regards to the product that you're offering. Once you're, 20, 30 jobs in, you really have some good experience, not only with landing customers, pricing the jobs, landing the jobs, providing the service, and then getting good feedback from those customers. That's going to give you the self-confidence to be like, okay, now I can go ahead and ramp up my prices a little bit. Because in the beginning, you don't have anything backing you. You don't have any previous work backing you. So put in the work up front, get the jobs, land them for cheaper, because you also don't have the experience going out there and getting a ton of lead flow into your business. So land the jobs first and foremost, do the jobs, get that experience under your belt so that way you can build your own confidence. So I always advise start off with a cheaper price just in the beginning until you get the hang of everything and you can kind of build up that momentum for yourself and for your business. And you can slowly start pushing that price over time and seeing where people's limits are with regards to how far you can push that price up. So start with 85, and then let's say you do 20 jobs at $85. Next step, go to 95. Say, hey guys, 95 is now the price. Everybody says yes still? Okay, great. We're going to go to 105 next. Everybody still says yes. Maybe we get up to 135 and then we start getting some resistance and we're like, okay, maybe we'll hang out here for a little bit. We try to go to 145, we get more resistance, right? Pricing is more of a balancing act than anything and kind of responding to the market. So in the beginning, if you try to price too high when you don't have the experience and you don't have the lead flow coming into your business, then you're going to lose out on those potential customers that would have been great to solidify your business. Another thing that I threw out to my brother early on, whenever he was first starting, is I told him that he could do interior only. If he had a problem getting jobs for 85, 105, somewhere around there, then just say, hey, I'll knock out the interior for you for 55, 65 bucks. Go out there, vacuum everything out, clean out all the trash, wipe everything down, and you could legitimately get your business started. You could be out there for an hour, hour and a half, and you can make 65 bucks. So there's really no excuse. If all you could afford is a vacuum, well, go out there and just start cleaning interiors. People love to have the interior of their car look good and feel good, especially when they're riding around in it. And I don't think they would have any problem letting you come and clean the interior for a lower price. So if you're having any kind of price issues, just lower the amount that you're offering or go out and find more leads, because then you can have more people say no to you, because then you only need so many people to say yes. Also, you want to look for upsells to increase your average ticket price. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a couple different upsells here. First and foremost, you could do the pet hair removal one. I told you guys about the lily brush within the equipment section. You could do door jamb cleanings if that's something that's not included on your traditional wash and clean. You can also do like leather conditioning. If you guys ever come into a situation where somebody has nice leather and you could say, hey, we'd love to protect that leather for you. We have a leather conditioner, whatever the case may be. You could do stain removal. This is going to require more equipment than what we initially talked about in the beginning. You will need a carpet extractor in order to do this. But stain removal is a great upsell, and it's going to allow you to make more money off of the people that are saying yes to your detail prices. But you also just want to listen to requests from your customers, because they're going to give you ideas for more stuff. Maybe you have a customer say, hey, is there anything you can do about under the hood? I like to make it look nice under there. And then you start doing like under the hood cleanings. You could have a customer say, hey, is there any way that you could get this gum up, or whatever the case may be. Customers are always going to bring up little ideas for you that you could start doing as add-ons. Like even if the customer's like, hey, can you take any fog out of these headlights? Now you have another service. You can remove fog from people's headlights. So you want to listen to your customer's request, because if one customer's having this dilemma or this issue and you're able to resolve it, then that means that maybe other customers are having the same problem and you could resolve it for them as well. Now, let's get into the biggest mistakes that my brother made within his business. First and foremost, he put too much pressure on vehicles. So with the pressure washer came a turbo nozzle, and he had a couple instances where he was trying to use the pressure washer to take off debris from a car, and it ultimately ended up taking off some paint. So something you guys need to be cognizant of, if you're using a pressure washer on a vehicle, don't apply too much pressure. Don't get too close with the pressure. And you can always adjust the amount of pressure that's coming out of the pressure washer by changing out the tips. That's why they give you all the different tips whenever you buy the pressure washer. Never use the red tip. Just a little quick tip, because that is the most powerful tip. And I guarantee if you use that red tip on somebody's car, it will damage it. So one of the biggest mistakes that he made was putting too much pressure on vehicles and chipping paint. Another was he was using the same bucket that he used to clean rims to clean the car as well. So this is a no-no. Some of my other friends within the deep detail community let me know this, because when you're cleaning rims, you could get rocks in the mitt, or you could get rocks in your cloths, and then you go and clean the car and you could be scratching up the paint and stuff like that. So that's something that you don't want to do. That's one of the little tips and tricks that you'll kind of catch along the way. And then lastly, he didn't do a good enough job keeping track of his customers early on in his business. It's something that I hounded him about. I'm like, look, dude, you're getting these customers to come to you. That is probably one of the most expensive parts of any business. Either you're paying with your time or you're paying with your money, but acquiring customers is one of the most expensive parts to any business. So anybody that you do acquire, you want to keep them. And that is the big secret for success that I'm going to share with you guys in this video. Is you want to find customers and you want to get them on recurring cleanings. So for example, if you were able to find just 30 customers that were paying you $150 a detail each, that is $4,500 a month. 30 times 150, $4,500 a month. You'd be making $54,000 a year with 30 customers if you could just get them on $150 a month detail each. Now, if you doubled that and you got 60 customers, which is not a lot of customers whatsoever, 60 customers that were paying you $150 each, you would be making over $100,000 a year. It would be like 108 grand a year with 60 customers. You don't even have to get another customer. You don't have to pay for ads. You don't have to, post things to Facebook groups whatsoever. So this is where having a tool like Quote IQ comes into place to keep up with those customers, as well as to send them email automations, to send them texts, to follow up with them. Because if you're able to build a book of recurring business, you are going to make it so that you don't have to go out and find new business every day. And you're going to be able to create for yourself consistent recurring revenue, which in any business is like the ideal, right? Because if we can create consistent recurring revenue, we know that this revenue is coming in every month. We don't have to sweat anything. So if you guys take anything away from this video and you start a mobile detail business, keep track of your customers, get them on a recurring basis, service those customers over and over, look for other things that you can offer to those customers to make them more valuable. And this is going to help you make a ton of money within your business. Lastly, if you guys are having trouble building that initial client base, you can look for lower ticket services that you can offer to get your foot in the door with customers that you wouldn't have been able to otherwise. So for example, my brother did trash can cleaning, which kept him busy between his detail jobs. And it was just something that gave him extra money. It was quick services that he was offering. He was actually able to sell his mobile details to the customers that were paying, $20, $25 for can cleaning services. So that's another thing that you guys can kind of look to. If you're having any trouble landing those mobile detailing clients, you can look for little niche services that you can offer in order to get your foot in the door. If we think about people's most valuable assets, right? What's number one? It'd be a house. Number two is going to be their car. So if people can't trust you with their car early on, anybody will trust you with their trash can, right? What's the worst thing that's going to happen with the trash can? Like, you can't even blow a hole in the trash can with a pressure washer. Maybe if it had enough power, but people are going to trust you with a trash can before they're going to trust you with their car. So like I said, build the trust, leverage that trust for lower risk, lower ticket services into something like your mobile detail business. Now, if you made it this far in the video, you have all the info that you need in order to start this business and make at least your first $10,000. So if you made it this far, comment down below, I will, and then go out there and hold yourself accountable to making it happen. Okay. Don't get lost in the weeds. Don't watch hundreds and hundreds of videos. I mean, obviously surround yourself with new information so you can continue to learn and continue to get better, but don't let that be your excuse for why you never get started. Don't let the learning phase be the excuse for taking action. And you have everything within this video to take action and to get yourself started. So comment down below, I will. Check out all the resources. I'll have a link for you guys down below. And until next time, hustle hard, get that money, baby. Peace.